The 64-year-old presenter sometimes expresses frank views online, which have raised questions about the BBC's impartiality. Gary Lineker has confirmed he is leaving the BBC after this season's Match of the Day and will no longer present its World Cup coverage. It comes after the 64-year-old apologized unreservedly for sharing a social media post illustrated with a rat, which has been used to represent Jewish people in anti-Semitic propaganda, including Nazi Germany. In a statement on Monday, Lineker said, "Football has been at the heart of my life for as long as I can remember, both on the pitch and in the studio. I care deeply about the game, and about the work I've done with the BBC over many years. As I've said, I would never consciously repost anything anti-Semitic, it goes against everything I stand for. However, I recognize the error and upset that I caused, and reiterate how sorry I am. Stepping back now feels like the responsible course of action." Lineker said he deleted the post when he learned about the rat's symbolism, adding he would never knowingly share anything anti-Semitic. In a separate video posted to Instagram, the pundit added, "I've stood up for minorities and humanitarian issues and against all forms of racism all of my life, including, of course, anti-Semitism, which I absolutely abhor. There's no place for it and never should be." He went on to thank the brilliant, talented people he has worked with and described his relationship with the BBC as long and wonderful. He added, "But it's the right time for the organisation and myself to go our separate ways." Lineker's last appearance on the BBC will be on Sunday the 25th of May, the final day of the season. Also confirming Lineker's exit, BBC Director General Tim Davie said, "Gary has acknowledged the mistake he made. Accordingly, we have agreed he will step back from further presenting after this season." Gary has been a defining voice in football coverage for the BBC for over 2 decades. His passion and knowledge have shaped our sports journalism and earned him the respect of sports fans across the UK and beyond. We want to thank him for the contribution he has made. Alex Kajelski, the BBC's Director of Sport, said in an email sent to staff that it had been a difficult and emotional week. He went on to say, "It is sad to be saying goodbye to such a brilliant broadcaster, and I also want to thank Gary for his years of service. As ever, if you have questions, you know where I am." Let's finish the season strongly with Gary's final show. Enjoy an incredible summer of sport and look forward with excitement to what lies ahead. Lineker announced in November he would step down from Match of the Day this year, but was set to return to front the World Cup in 2026, as well as FA Cup coverage. The former England star was temporarily suspended from the BBC in March 2023 after an impartiality row over comments he made criticising the then Conservative government's asylum policy. He will be replaced on Match of the Day by Gabby Logan, Kelly Cates, and Mark Chapman, who will share the presenting role from the next Premier League season. Lineker has hosted Match of the Day since 1999 and has been the BBC's highest-paid on-air talent for 7 consecutive years. He joined the programme having started as a BBC Radio 5 live presenter, also working on the broadcaster's former flagship sports show Grandstand during his early years in broadcasting. The Leicester-born presenter is also the co-founder of podcast-producing company Goalhanger, which makes the popular The Rest Is History series and its spin-offs about politics, football, entertainment and money. His parting ways with the BBC also includes the licensing deal for Goalhanger podcast titles on BBC Sounds, which ends this year, the PA news agency reported.